disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fits, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's up, sir?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Tuesdays, you got the Inside Scoop with Alice and Jeff. Wednesdays is us, Fits, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel.
Oh, Thursdays we have the traditional way with Brett Shumway, and then all right, listen, man, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's like once a month. I don't know if it's once every other week. One of those. You have the extra scoop with Peyton Fender and Jeff.
See, now you see how I was feeling. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. All right, let's talk about this movie, The Island, with Michael Jai White, Angel's homeboy.
Yeah. Okay, a couple things I got about this movie. No, this movie, I never heard of it. It just popped up on my thing one day. And I was like, oh, Michael Jai White, cool. Why not?
It's interesting. The movie's
interesting. I follow him on Instagram, and I wonder if this is the movie that I saw him working on last year. It has to be. It could be, because I saw that him and his wife were doing a movie together, and I'm assuming that this was the movie.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense. But the thing that this movie, a couple things about just even from the beginning, like, did you know he was Jamaican at the beginning of this movie?
No, I didn't even know this was Jamaica. I knew it was an island somewhere, but I didn't know they were saying
it was Jamaica. An island in Florida, but it was like a Jamaican
by
island.
Florida, right? Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know if it was Haitian or
something like that.
You know, I just didn't know what
the first 20 minutes he's in LA.
Yeah,
and I swear, like he's talking normal. And then all of a sudden, he's like, brother, and this, and I'm like, wait a sec. I had to go back into the beginning. I'm like, was he like this the whole time at the beginning? Because it was, I don't know. To me, like, if that's gonna be like who you are in the movie, just do it from the beginning, man. Like,
you know what? I think that's a thing for people that are from the islands. Because I have a coworker who he lives in Chicago. He's Jamaican, but he was born in Canada, right? But I've been in the car with him, working with him, and I've heard him talk to his family. Now he's talking to me like how I'm talking to you guys, regular English. But when he was speaking to his Jamaican family, he had an accent like that. So I'm kind of thinking that's just a cultural thing that they do when they talk to people from, their homeland.
It threw me off because I was like, wait a second, when do we? Oh, so I was like, why do they keep calling it the island? And then everybody was kind of, and I was like, okay, I get what's going on here now, but it just took a minute to compute. The other thing, I was gonna say was, this gave me like a low budget kind of John Wick.
I had a different movie I was thinking about.
Well, actually,
there was a couple other movies I was thinking too, but when he took the sledgehammer and was busting the pavement, I was like, and he's out for revenge. I'm like, this gave me like a little John Wick feel to it.
Well, I knew within the first 5 minutes of this movie, I knew that what was going to happen. Like, I knew the whole. Like, we've seen this movie before. Like you said, John Wick. There has been plenty of movies exactly like this. The only thing I was thinking of was, I know who he's going to fight, because it was no mystery who killed his brother. So we knew that part. Normally, sometimes they kind of save that for the end or whatever. So I said, okay, we already know who did it. The only question I really have right now is, how is he going to find out who it was who killed his brother?
Well, he figured that out real quick, but he had to prove it.
Yeah.
That was his thing. Like, he wanted to prove it.
This movie just reminded me of Walking Tall with The Rock.
Oh yes, you're right.
It was
You're
exactly the
100%.
same exact thing. Drugs. There was like a kingpin, like a guy who runs the city, runs the island, right? The Rock's like nephew ended up getting hurt, went to the hospital. This dude, his brother died. Like I literally was like, oh, this is like Walking Tall. Like it's no different than Walking Tall.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
what
good
you
comp,
just said.
actually.
I think right, isn't that a pretty good one?
Yeah.
I think, and what you just said, Joe, is what I was just about to say. That he found out it. I think in a way, I kind of appreciate the simplicity of the movie. Like there wasn't.
It was very simple. It was very simple.
You know what I mean? Like there wasn't too much elaborated plot to the point you can get lost. It was like dialogue, action, dialogue, action. Like you could almost like you could write a vague outline of just dialogue, action, and you can create the script from there. So I actually think it was pretty decent in that sense. Like it was actually pretty simple. Even like just he found out who killed his brother. He found that out real simple. He just went and talked to her. That was it. Done and over with. Right? Most times there's like a whole that person knows someone else who knows the other person who saw it happen from behind the door or whatever. And it takes like we spend half of the movie just trying to find that person. So in a way, I kind of like that. I think it was and this is not a knock. I think the kids that got to do karate in the one dojo scene was interesting. I think we could I don't know if they even knew they were in a movie. Yeah, one kid, they were doing the punches and he just stared at the camera as it went by him.
He didn't I missed that part. I didn't see that.
He's there and he just went like this. It just kept going. So I was like, I don't know if they told him to keep punching or what happened with him, but I think it was interesting. I kind of like that his wife, he puts his wife in his movies, because I'm not gonna lie to you, like I don't think she gets credit she deserves. She's actually a pretty good actor. You know, like she's actually a pretty good actor. I like it. I think for me, for when I saw a movie, seeing the whole him with the Jamaican accent thing, not that I didn't like it. It just took adjusting. I had to adjust to like hearing him talk that way, seeing him talk that way. That was
the first couple of times it happened. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's what we're doing now." And then it was fine. I was like, "Okay."
To something I noticed in terms of with the not the effects, but I guess we'll say with the costume and design, you can tell he's needing more makeup to play his roles. You can tell like he's physically getting older.
Well, how he kind of walked a couple times, how he was walking sometimes.
Yeah,
I can kind of see that. I've seen a lot of older martial artists walk the way that he's walking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. As far as facially, I couldn't really tell that much because I just assume he's getting older. But you've seen him without makeup.
Yeah,
you've seen him.
Well, that's the thing. So like, I've seen him, and like even when I see him in person, like it's funny. My brother saw him like not too long ago, like maybe like a month or two ago, because he had a premiere in either New Haven or he did something in like one of the cities near my dojo. So it's interesting because when you see him, all right. So the difference between seeing him in the movies and seeing him in real life, obviously his goatee and his hair is dyed, so he has darker hair. In real life, he actually has a lot more grays, and you can see there's a difference in like his skin complexion. Like you could tell there's makeup on him. So it's interesting because I feel like when he was younger, or maybe it could just be the cinematography that was done, it gives him a younger appeal. Even if you look at Blood and Bone, that wasn't like a premiere movie in a movie theater. He still looked kind of younger. You know what I mean? So there's that. I noticed that about him. Something else I noticed about him, let me know if you guys noticed this, especially when it came to his fight scenes. The first thing is, it is so weird to watch him use a gun. Do you guys ever feel that way about martial artists when you see him use a gun, knowing that they like because I feel like I've always saw him always doing hand-to-hand combat. So now as he's getting older, a lot of his choreography is gun involved. Not gun related, but like he's using the gun at certain points, which is more than what I've ever seen him use before. And I noticed that a lot. I feel like anytime I ever see our martial arts like actors that we saw growing up do that, I'm always like, man, I feel like age is starting to get to him, right? So it was that. And then the other thing is you can see how they're cutting up his choreography and his fight choreography. They're cutting it differently. Have you noticed anytime he threw the spin kicks, they never really showed him throwing the kick. They always
I didn't notice.
They always did it from the angle where if you kick the person, they're showing it from behind the guy. So you're just watching him fly, and then it cuts and it watches him go through like the wall, right? But you didn't physically see him turn and throw his foot all the way out and throw the kick. I'm starting to notice that more. Like a lot of those things, they're starting to turn the camera around and make it so that way you still get the effect without seeing the impact. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it was just little stuff I started seeing with the fight choreography and everything, and also it's as expected, right? Like as you get older, you can't, like Keanu Reeves, he ain't gonna be able to keep jumping off these damn buildings in the movies. You know what I mean? Like you have
he don't jump off those buildings. That's his stunt double.
I know that, but he has to. There's some level of physical fitness he has to do. You know what I mean? That's gonna start.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's gonna start getting down.
There's a whole thing online about some of the stuff that he's doing where he'll show you where it's him and then it's not him and it's him. And
like some stuff he does jujitsu. Like some of that stuff he's actually doing himself. Tom Cruise is the same way. Tom Cruise is like I remember I saw for one of the Mission Impossibles, he was actually on the side of the plane in the air, and I was like, God, you're
they've been telling Tom. They've been trying to tell Tom he needs to use his stunt double more. He's getting a little too crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's where I'm like, for stuff like that, like you can tell, like eventually it's going to come a point where they got to start flipping how they use them. They got to start changing the way they're going to use them.
My buddy switched over to more choreography. So he didn't do the last John Wick movie.
The one
was his last one.
Yeah,
Jackson.
Jackson, that's who it was. Yeah,
because I was talking to him about it shortly after that. And I actually, when I go through the credits, I start looking and they show the team. What is that, 77 or something like that?
Yeah.
They show the whole team, and then his wife just got into stunt double now.
Yep.
So they've been doing like courses and stuff and showing like training people for choreography and for stunt work. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's dope. So yeah, so you could see like, it starts taking a toll on people. And I think that's just what I saw in this movie. But I will give him, I will say like the movie was very simple in its approach, like how we said, Gene, like it was just you kind of just knew, like a little bit of talking. All right, here comes the action, dialogue.
Yeah,
action. So,
Joe.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Who would be a henchman for this boss? That guy killed like half his people. He killed half his people.
And that was one of my issues. That was actually my only issue with this movie, and we could talk about it when we get there. Huh?
He was too much. That guy was too much.
He was, and that's okay. I'm just gonna say it now, and that was a little bit of my issue with the movie. My only issue with the movie is because this guy was a straight killer. So, and he didn't care about his people. He killed them quick. If they messed up, like the whole thing. To even start the movie, the waiter at his bar spilled wine on his new singer, and because he spilled the wine, he killed him. And that's where this whole problem starts with this movie, because the waiter is Michael Jai White's little brother, and that's where this movie starts from. So that's the issue. He killed Michael Jai White's brother, right? Now we get to the point where Michael Jai White comes to him and is asking questions, and he is not being respectful to this guy. This guy should have killed him right there when he walked in the bar and he was acting all smug and, being a tough guy. This character should have killed him immediately. Yes. That's number one. Number two, they're killing everybody, but for whatever reason, when they kidnapped his ex-wife, they stunned her and then took her away. Why? They're killing everyone else. The guys that he sent, his henchmen, he sent them out to kill them. They did not do the job. They failed. They couldn't find him to kill him. And he immediately killed him. He put a plastic bag over two of the guys' heads, killed them, and shot the other guy in the head.
Hey,
he should have killed the girl immediately once he caught her. It made no sense. Like that was just,
he needed her.
That was crazy. For what? He didn't need her. He could have killed her and said he had her.
No,
he was
true,
never
but
he was never going to give her back. If he had got the girl to see
I
her
agree.
back, he was never. So why even keep her alive? He should have. And the way this guy was so ruthless with everyone else throughout the movie.
He was playing the game.
He was so he was so ruthless throughout the movie. He should have killed. What was Michael's name anyway in the movie? Mark. He should have killed Mark instantly, and her name was Akila. He should have killed them on sight. They should have been dead.
Mark the Jamaican makes no sense. I'm just saying.
It's just it was just crazy, man. I think also the other thing about it was I don't know, man. Like maybe it's just me, but I just feel like the way I feel like him hiring everybody at one point, it was like, why don't you just do it yourself? Like you hire these people to kill them. Like you're hiring your own guys. They can't get the job done. Then you kill them because you're upset. At that point, well, do it yourself. Like, that old saying, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. Just go do it yourself. Makes no sense to me. So I was just like, what is going on here? Right. So that made no sense to me. The other thing that I thought was interesting was more or less just kind of like I swore I thought the cop was in on it.
Yeah, Nate, I did too.
I
kept saying like, nah, he's in on it. Nah, he's in on it. And then finally I was like, all right, never mind. He's not in on it.
No, and that was a strange part. That was a strange part with him because, of course, they were trying to make us think, whose side he's on, and he was never a bad guy, right? But when he goes to the preacher and he gives him an envelope and says, if anything happens to me, you'll know what to do with this envelope, right? So they never told us where he went after that. The next time we see Nate, he's beat up and he's in his police car going to see Mark. And he's messed up. It's like, okay, why did you come here like this? Like, where did you go? What happened? That left me with a question mark.
Yes.
Yeah. No, me too.
And he led all of those guys, Manuel's. He led all of those people to Mark.
He wanted to make sure it was challenging enough for him.
But that didn't make that part didn't make sense because Nate would have known that they're going to kill me. And if he knows that he's going to die, he would not have just said, all right, follow me. Like, what would be the purpose of that? If I know that somebody's going to kill one of you guys, I know for a fact that they're going to kill me and they're going to kill you. You might as well just kill me right now. I'm not going to take you to YouTube so you guys we all going to die together. That doesn't make any sense.
It was a team. He's just trying to be a team player. He's like, yo, man, like,
let me stay home.
We're all going to go to heaven together and have fun. Like, no, that's not going to happen. If I'm going to heaven, I'm going by myself. I don't want you guys to join me. We don't need to take a field trip to heaven. That does not need to happen.
Yeah, no, I got you. But yeah, that part was interesting. I don't know. I feel like I would have liked to see. I did like the killer in him. I did like the killer in Manuel and like how aggressive he was. I also would have liked to see if it was like another martial arts guy.
Yeah.
Like how much better
somebody like Terry Silver.
Like a Terry Silver, or kind of like when he did Undisputed, like a Boyka.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because then imagine that fight scene. Like I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand why, and maybe there's like a personal reason, but like I'm like, man, like how come Michael Jai White hasn't used Jean-Claude Van Damme yet? He hasn't done nothing.
Maybe they don't like each other.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe they don't like each other, but I don't. Like do that.
I think a lot of people have problems with Van Damme.
Yeah, that is true. Or get some of those get some of the older MMA guys that he's all friends with and he knows, like, get them.
Well, there was one in this movie. Jay Heron. He was in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I kept looking at him going like, why do I know who that is?
Yeah,
and I couldn't think of his name
immediately. As soon as I saw him, I knew. Yeah,
I
remember.
you know, be
cool to see him and Randy Couture be in a movie together. Michael Jai White and Randy Couture.
They haven't done a movie together.
I don't think they have, but Randy Couture's been in a couple things.
He's been in like Scorpion King and all that stuff, but
he's been in so many. Randy, you know, I just assume because this seems like the type of movie he would have been in. You know,
that's exactly why I'm saying that. Yeah. I think like this would have been a good movie for Randy Couture. Randy Couture or Chuck Liddell, like get one of those. Well, I don't know about Chuck. I don't think he knows how to I don't think he's able to talk clearly.
Yeah, I don't know how well he is as an actor.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think
Randy.
I think he's
when they get Chuck in a movie, that he just does the same thing, just like Stone Cold. He's just a big bad dude who's an enforcer.
Stone Cold, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Stone Cold is a good actor. I kind of like Stone Cold as an actor.
No, I agree. I'm just saying they play the same kind of guy. They're an enforcer. They're gonna be, or a killer.
I was about to go off on a tangent. I was about to talk about the Expendables, but we'll save that for another time.
The Expendables.
I was about to say, technically, if we're gonna go off of Jason Statham logic, I mean,
well, Jet Li is in that also, right?
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, yeah.
Dolph
Lundgren, yeah.
Oh.
We can use Expendables now.
There's no martial arts in that movie. I don't even think there's a kick thrown.
Ronda Rousey's in it. She's in what, the third one?
Yeah, she's in the third one.
Artists. That's a lot of martial artists.
That's funny. You are right though. You are right though, Joe. I actually don't think there's a damn kick in it at all. I think Chuck Norris is the only one who ever threw a kick.
I don't even think so. I think Chuck Norris just showed up like he was a meme.
Yeah, the first movie, Jet Li threw like 3 kicks or 4 kicks or something. That was it. Yeah. The third one or second one, I think he threw like 2 or 3, and then Chuck Norris threw 1 kick, and that was it.
That's the only one I ever seen was the first one. I only saw.
Was it Van Damme in one of them too?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Scott Adkins and Jason Statham and Van Damme and Stallone. They were fighting, and those were good because Van Damme did the helicopter kick.
So, of course he did. Yeah. That's all he does.
Hey,
listen, I'm a huge Van Damme fan, but there is a point where he gets annoying. Although he did have a show on Amazon that was actually decent.
Oh, really?
I think it was. I forget. I think it was actually titled with his name or something. And it was like a reality show, but it wasn't really a reality. It was. They're
supposed to be doing a reality show about him doing a kickboxing match, and then Van Damme pulled out or something like that.
Yeah, because he can't kickbox. Not anymore.
He's a Waco champion.
I mean, maybe back in his day, but not anymore.
Yeah, I got you. So,
but yeah, the 2 things that I also wouldn't have mind, like he should have brought his partner with him the whole time, not just at the end. Because I mean, what partner is going to sit back while you're going on some?
I'm gonna be honest with you. No, because he got his ass beat in the first scene.
No, he didn't. That guy was huge. He took him out.
Still got his ass beat. I'm just saying, like,
okay, but the last man standing means you didn't get your ass beat.
And also, just throwing this out there, and this is for everyone. I'm saying this in a true sense. I'm not trying to bark up a wrong tree. I'm just talking about it from a movie standpoint and from a drug lord that is trying to find him. Wouldn't it be easier to find him if he had a white guy with him on an island that was primarily indigenous?
Yes. Okay, people? But it wasn't hard to find him in the first place.
You know what I'm trying to say?
He was looking for you.
Like, to find him, they're just going to say, well, just look for the American. And they'll probably think it's like, and they're going to go, well, there he is. Like, that's what they'll think. You know what I mean? It's his island. He's from there. So he's able to move and go places, and he knows the area better.
Well, I don't think he went there initially to solve his brother's murder.
Not at all.
So I wouldn't have told my partner. I would have been like, my brother died. I got to go to the funeral. I wouldn't have think to ask my partner to come with me. Now once everything started happening, he probably didn't want to involve his partner in it.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, most of the time, your partner's not going to just stand back while you're out here going crazy.
No, I mean
that's all I'm saying.
But yeah,
but as part of they find out, the Nate, the cop on the island, he did call him and get some information, and so he did eventually show up.
It was a fun line, and it was cheesy, but it still made me laugh when he was in the bar fighting everybody, and he said he had the gun, and he's told the guy had it, didn't need it.
Right. You know, but that scene also, which was funny to me and stupid at the same time. So when he jumps over the bar, he's back there hiding with one of the guys. The guy, he stands up and says, he's over here. And he gets shot up. Didn't that guy have a gun too?
Yeah.
Why didn't he just shoot him?
Why did I laugh at that part though? I was like, what just happened?
Why would he do that? He stood up there, he's over here, and they lit him up.
They shot. Where's Waldo? Right there.
Yeah. And because it wasn't even like they stopped shooting. They had already been shooting at him.
Yep.
So why would you stand up if bullets are coming in your direction? Why would you stand up?
I don't know, man. That guy. It's hard to find good help these days.
So he deserved to die. That guy deserved to die. So anyway.
And the boss fight, it left me wanting a little more. Like you said, it could have been a martial arts fight. Like Bro had a knife, okay, but he wasn't even good with the knife. At least be like a knife expert or something. He just had a big ass knife. Wasn't even that big.
You know what I thought he was gonna say, Joe? I thought he was gonna say, and this is the knife that I stabbed your brother with. He didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was waiting for it too. I was waiting for it. But he did say something like, I drained your brother, blah blah blah, or something, or watch the life leave his eyes, or some dumb crap.
Mm-hmm. So they left the door open for a part 2. Do you think they're going to make a part 2?
That's possible.
I think if it gets a decent amount of traction, it does well by whatever standards they judge it on. And I think them keeping it in perspective with how they made the movie, I think
And it looked like at the end of the movie, he wasn't going back to America. He wasn't going back to LA. It didn't look like it. Like he was staying there. To me, it looked like he took a pay cut, because I don't think those people on that island was going to pay him to be, the same amount of money he was getting by being an LA cop.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
We got a grade?
Yeah.
I'm good. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's so crazy because I feel like our grading scale, we need to make like I don't know, maybe A-list, B-list, and C-list movies for a grading scale. Like I would give this like an A-, honestly. I'm
going B+, so I'm good.
Just keeping it, but like knowing that it's a B-level movie, kind of, it's an A- for a B-level movie. It was good.
I'm actually giving it an A. I mean, what's bad? I mean, I told Melissa earlier, like I didn't really have a lot that I needed to nitpick or anything. I mean, it was a straightforward movie. Yeah, it was enjoyable. I wasn't bored. I mean, even though we have all seen this type of movie before, you kind of, you could have easily put it together within the first 10-15 minutes. You knew what was going to happen. But I mean, I didn't mind it. Like the acting was good. I didn't have any problems with the fight scenes or anything, So
And for the people, I like the fight scenes. He really shows his range. He's always doing something different in these movies. And the defense lab, that to me was next level, because I've never seen that before. So
yeah.
I like to see when he does different things.
And for the people that are listening, like we were able to sum this up and wrap the movie up a lot quicker. For the simple fact of like how we said, like it follows a plot of a movie we all have seen before, whether it's martial arts related or non-martial arts related. There's a movie like this with the same plot made every year. And the good thing was, I will say, what he did really well was he made an equal balance between acting and dialogue and action. And you never got, like how you said, Gene, like you knew what was going to happen, but you never got bored. You still stayed around to watch the full movie.
Yeah.
So I think it was really good in that sense.
Let's go watch. Check it out.
All right. So what's next week?
I'll do The Last Airbender that just came out on Netflix, episodes 1 and 2.
All right.
So
Sounds
can't
good.
wait for. I'm actually excited for that.
You guys got any closing remarks?
CBR. Woo!
Anything,
nice.
Joe?
No, I'm good, man.
All right, everybody. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, and I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.